Hey, what is going on guys? How you guys doing? So today we're going to do a comparison on all the PlayArts Kai Final Fantasy VII Barret figures. Stay tuned guys. Okay, so first up, let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. So here we have the original AC Barrets. This is the first release of the remake Barrets, and here we have the 2.0. And so from the back, we have a couple nice screenshots of the figures themselves in some nice poses. And just in case you guys want to check out the inside, so we do have a bit of text. So if you guys want to read this, then by all means, feel free to pause and read. I hope the quality is clear enough for you guys to see that. And here we have the remake Barrets and the 2.0. Okay, and so here we have all the figures out of the packaging, and yeah, these are currently all the Barret figures which PlayArts Kai have made. They're all pretty similar figures, just with different head sculpts, different paint jobs, and different accessories. So yeah, here's a look at the first release Barret, which I believe came out in 2017. Next up we have the first Barret, which PlayArts Kai ever made from Advent Children. And last up we have the newest release of Barret. This is the Barret 2.0, which came out in 2020. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a closer look. Okay, so let's take a look at the heads. So first up we have the original remake Barret. I mean, it's not a bad head sculpt, it is pretty good. The sculpting is quite nice in there, but I just don't really think it has a nice resemblance to how he looked in the game. As for the AC Barret, I mean, I don't really need to say much about this. It's a pretty horrifying head sculpt. It's not bad once again, but yeah, just something's up with this head sculpt. And the paint job is pretty weird. I don't know what it is, but it looks super shaded, like around his forehead and around his cheeks. So I just don't know why they painted it like this. And here we have the amazing 2.0 Barret head sculpts, which is the newest Barret which PlayArts Kai have made. I just love this head sculpt so much. It's a good representation of how he looked in the game. Clean paint job, very clean sculpt, and yeah, very good likeness. So we're back to the original remake Barret. So the sunglasses are removable, but he's gonna have like these indentations at the side of his head if you take them off, so I wouldn't really recommend it. And so moving down here to the body. So yeah, the body is pretty good. It's pretty much the exact same as the 2.0 Barret's body. I don't really see too many changes here. I think the sculpting, the paint job, and just the overall look of the body itself is very similar. As you guys can see, there's really not many differences. I think maybe the paint job is slightly darker on this original remake Barret, but for the most part it's pretty much the same. You can see he's wearing this jacket piece which has a super nice texture, as if it's made out of leather. And then here we have the arms with the tattoo, and his hand here, this gauntlet piece. Here's a look at the other arm. So now this here machine gun on his arm is a lot different compared to the 2.0. As you can see, it's a completely different design, which I think is a nice touch. I don't know the specific name of what these guns are called. If someone can let me know what is the name, it would really help out a lot. And it also doesn't have any materia, which the 2.0 version, if you guys can see right there, it's got a blue piece of materia in there. I really hope that they remake Barret in his AC form. I think it would be great to have an updated figure. Also, I would love to see an updated figure of Red 13. Yeah, definitely need a remake on a lot of these older PlayArts Kai. Even Yuffie, I would just love to see a remake of Yuffie. Hopefully we get a new remake for the new Intergrade of Yuffie. But anyhow, here's a look at the Barrets. So here we have this jacket piece. I really don't know what's up with this fishnets. I really don't know if they were like high or drunk while they designed this AC Barrets. But yeah, the fishnet is a very interesting choice. It's just so different from how he looked in the original game. So yeah, I just don't really get this design at all. I mean, I know a lot of you guys out there do not like this figure. It's probably one of the worst Play Arts Kai out there, and it was the very last Play Arts Kai that I had to pick up to complete my AC figure collection. But now that I have him in hands, I've got to say I kind of like him. I really do like the figure a lot. If you guys don't have this figure and you need to complete your AC set, then I would say go ahead and pick up this Barret. I think you will like him a lot more than you think. So yeah, definitely think about picking it up. And so as you can see, the legs have a very bright paint job compared to the remake. I mean, the remake trousers are super dark, but as you can see, these are very bright, like a very bright green, almost yellow here at the side. It just adds a bit of variation for these figures. The new remake 2.0 Barret. Yeah, I mean, I really don't need to say this, but this is by far the best Barret out of them all. I mean, it's probably one of the best Play Arts Kai Final Fantasy VII figures, for that matter. I just love this so much. You can just see the face sculpt is so clean. Even the scar on the side of his face is super nicely done. It's painted like a dark red, which just really makes it look like an old scar. And even all the sculpting in the hair, like around his face, the beard, all the stubble, it's just so intricately sculpted. I just love what they've done here. They just couldn't have done a more amazing job on this head sculpt. I love it a lot. And here's a look at the hand holding these sunglasses. So one thing to mention is that these sunglasses aren't very sturdy in his hands, and they will fall out. So just be careful of that. If you knock over the figure, you definitely could lose these very easily. So just keep an eye on that. So here we have this here jacket piece once again, which is very worn out looking. It looks as if it's very old, as if it's made out of leather. And right here at the neck piece, as you can see, he has these dog tags. And these are sculpted onto the figure, which I really don't like. I wish they made it out of a separate piece of chain, like a metal chain. I think that would have worked much better. But that's how they look. I just really don't like when they sculpt these necklaces onto the figure. It just really doesn't make sense. And here we have the hands with this massive gun. Once again, I don't know the name, so someone please let me know. But anyhow, the detailing is a lot different. As you can see, we have all these new pieces sculpted in there, whereas on the original remake, we don't really have many pieces. It's a very plain design. I mean, look at the sculpting and the paint job. It's so much more clean compared to the original remake. The details just shine through a lot better. And once again, we have all these pouches, all these pockets. And here's a look at the figures from the side. So here's a quick overview on how they look. Let's go ahead and take a close-up. So yeah, this is the remake Barret, the original. Once again, it's not bad. It is a very nice piece, and I mean, if you guys still have this figure, then I would be very happy if it's. You really don't need to pick up the 2.0. I just picked it up because I wanted to complete the sets. But this is still a great figure in its own right. And here we have the AC Barret. I don't know, I like this figure a lot, despite what people may say. I just think a lot of those people probably don't have the figure. But as I mentioned before, if you do have the figure in hand, you really do grow to like the figure a lot more. There's just something about the figure which I really like. It's probably just how big he is, like the size. It's just such a massive figure. This was also the first Barret which I ever picked up, so I just remember being in absolute awe at how big and massive this figure really was. But anyhow, here's a look at this gun, these green trousers and the boots. I think the boots are yeah, they're actually a lot different. I just noticed these ones have laces. Just get a little close up here for you guys. Such a nice profile. And here we have the hand holding the sunglasses, and moving down here to the jacket piece. I mean, look at all this muscle definition sculpted in there. It looks pretty realistic. I'm not sure if it's the same on the other figures. I think it's pretty similar on the remake, but for the most part, it looks the best on this 2.0. Here's a better look at this machine gun. Let me just get a close-up at this blue material. I'm really not sure what material he's got equipped in there. And from the other side, and once again, here's a quick look at how the figures look as a whole. It's pretty much the exact same on this side. I Really don't see too many differences. So first up we have this tattoo, which I really don't know what it is. It looks like flames, like a fire. It almost looks like a skull. I really don't know what it is. If someone can let me know, but I think it's pretty much the exact same on all the figures as far as I can see. It's the same design, especially on the 2.0 remake Barrets. As you can see, the skin tone is a lot darker on this AC Barrets. Here we have a whole bunch of rings and all this bling on these fingers. I don't know if do the remake Barrets have any bling in here? Let me check. Doesn't look to be the case. It just seems like the AC Barret has all of these rings on his fingers. I mean, the AC designs are my all-time favorite designs for all these Final Fantasy VII characters. Seeing as the Final Fantasy VII Advent Children was the first time that I was ever introduced to Final Fantasy. So I really have that film to thank. Once again, the side of the face. I just love that profile so much. And here we have a look at the hands and the sunglasses. And here we have the back of the figures. And as you can see, it's such a different design. I mean, just the whole color contrast is completely different. I really don't like the shape of his head. I just don't like how it goes to almost like a point. I just don't like that. I think it looks way better on the AC and 2.0 Barrets. But anyhow, it's a pretty minor detail. So moving down here to the back of the jackets. Yeah, I love all these textures, like all these kind of rough details on the coats. It makes it look very worn out. We have the pretty exposed double hinge joints, which I think are pretty much the exact same on all the figures. Yeah, once again, nothing much they can do about that. It's probably the best they can do. So yeah, I'm not going to complain too much. Anyhow, we have the back of the boots. We have the back of the AC Barrets. I love the hair design, like all these dreadlocks sculpted in there. I really don't know how to explain this jacket. I know the material, I just don't know what it's called. It almost looks like a bin bag, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Anyhow, here's a look at the back of the arms and this machine gun. All these intricate details. It looks very futuristic, this particular machine gun. And here we have more of this fishnet stockings. The paint job isn't the best here. It does look a bit messy, but I don't know, I think it works well on the figure. It just kind of makes it look a bit gritty. And the back of the 2.0, which is pretty much the exact same as the original remake Barret. We have this super rough jacket piece. And the back of the legs, which as I mentioned, are a much brighter paint job. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the articulation for the figures. So I've got to say right off the bat that these figures have the most sturdy joints out of all the PlayArts Kai Final Fantasy VII figures. Because the figure is so massive, he's so large, the joints are a lot bigger, so they're just naturally more sturdy, a lot more stronger. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Let's take a look at what we have here. So we have a ball joint at the head, a ball joint at the base of the neck. This jacket piece is made out of like a pretty soft piece of plastic. And here we have these ball hinge joints, or they're almost ball ratchet joints at the shoulders. We have these swivels at the bicep, and we have these ball hinge joints at the elbows. Same goes for the wrist. Now this here machine gun piece, it's actually on a swivel joint. As you can see, the barrel rotates like so, which it doesn't rotate on the 2.0. Inside the torso piece we have a ball joint. Same goes for the waist, we have a ball joint in there. We have these ball ratchet joints at the hips. These are pretty loud joints. This here groin piece is made out of a soft piece of plastic, just like the jacket. At the back we have these double hinge joints, and these are super sturdy joints. I mean, it's really going to help to hold the figure. And here we have these ball hinge joints at the ankles, and we have the hinge joint at the toe. So yeah, there's a quick look at the articulation for the original remake Barrets. Next up, let's take a look at the articulation for the AC Barrets. So right here at the head sculpt we have a ball joint. He doesn't have a joint at the base of the neck like the other two. This here jacket piece is made out of a super soft piece of plastic. I don't know, I really like this jacket. It's really cool. And here we have these ball hinge joints at the shoulders, swivel joints at the bicep, a ball hinge joint at the elbow. Same goes for the wrist. And this here gun piece, whatever you want to call it, it's on a swivel joint as you can see, kind of rotates like so. Moving on here, we have a ball joint at the torso, ball joint at the waist. This here piece is also made out of a soft piece of plastic. Here we have these ball ratchet joints at the hips. We have double hinge joints at the knee, ball hinge joint at the ankle, and a hinge joint at the toe. And so last up, let's check out the articulation for the 2.0. So once again, we have a ball joint at the head, a ball joint at the base of the neck. This jacket piece is made out of a soft piece of plastic, just like the groin piece. At the shoulders, we have these almost like these ball ratchet joints once again. Swivels at the bicep, a ball hinge joint at the elbow, and a ball hinge joint at the wrists. And this side, as I mentioned, we don't have any rotation or any swivels in this machine gun piece, which I really don't know why. Moving down here to the waist and the torso piece, we have a ball joint for the waists. Here at the hips, these pretty loud ball hinge joints. Back of the legs, we have these double hinge joints. We have a ball hinge joint at the ankle and a hinge joint at the toe. So yeah, there's a quick look at the articulation for all the 3 Barret figures. So yeah guys, these are great figures. I mean, they're all fantastic figures. If I was to recommend a figure, I would definitely go for the 2.0. That is just by far the best figure out of the 3. But I mean, if you guys haven't picked up the AC Barrets and you need to complete the collection, then I would recommend the piece. But anyhow guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys are new here, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to ring that bell notification so you guys don't miss out on all these videos. I hope you guys have a great day. Take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Alright, take it easy guys.